Episode 3 of Hot Takes No Breaks. We're back. No Jacob this time. We still got Dalton. We still got Hudson. And we also got.
Hudson's
Oh, we don't have a Hudson.
no.
Okay, just kidding. But we do have a Casey.
We have a
Casey,
Casey.
you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Tell us what
Hi.
you drive.
I'm Casey. I drive a slow stock 2021 WRX before they screwed it up. So yeah.
All right. We got a couple topics here today. First one, we're starting off with some wheels. And I guess we'll start it off with how do you guys feel against with reps versus real wheels?
Ah, that was a oh man.
We
I gotta
started
put
off
my
hot.
thoughts. Okay, I gotta put my thoughts together before I give my opinion on the two.
Okay, I'll start then since um I asked the question. I've now owned a set of I guess rep wheels, and I've also owned a set of real, I guess I guess you can say real forged wheels. And man, I miss my old wheels. The VMRs are for sure. I can feel that they're heavier when I drive the car. They when I put them on, they were definitely like heavier. Like I can feel the weight. I don't know how strong they are because I shredded my TEs against the wall. I haven't tested the VMRs against the wall, and I don't think I want to. But they've been fine so far, and I guess VMR is a brand that I think is like a more reputable rep brand, not something like a niche or an Avid one. I just noticed that the Avid ones on this GR86 has a sticker on it, like it's a TE. That makes me wow. That's yeah. Casey Dalton, anything you guys want to add?
I've had both reps and real wheels at the same time before. Like with my cars, they're just they're not fast to begin with, so the weight difference doesn't really like I don't notice any difference. Um, but I've owned the JNCs. They're like the reps of the water cooled CC10s.
Oh
Um,
god.
yeah, and then I've also had the water cooled CC10s. The racist wheels. Um,
Love those.
Yeah, I think both were like I didn't really notice a difference in quality. They both held up fine, but yeah, I mean, $3,000 wheels over. I think I paid 800 for the JNCs. Um, yeah, I didn't really notice a difference in quality. I prefer to go more of like an OEM wheel or something more of like a three-piece wheel, but everyone's got different budgets, so I can't really hate on if you get wraps, but yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get a set of wraps, get some decent looking wraps. Like people slap some awful wraps on cars and it just looks like dog shit.
Okay, I saw this
I also agree
Mercedes
with you.
as we were scrolling, this S580, and I got scared because I was like, "Oh God, what reps does this thing have?" But it's on Vossens, which
Yeah.
is kind of sick. Anyway, sorry,
Yep.
Casey.
Yeah, I mean, like let's say if you're looking at let's say you're looking at a pair of or like a whole set of LASRs and you want them in 16s or 15s and they only go as low as 17s. You can buy reps, just don't rep or like don't put the center cap off of a rotiform on there to try and look cool. I mean, it's not cool. Like I could tell that your rep TVs are Avid One racing wheels rather than T37s. Like, come on.
I, last night was hilarious because that actually happened. Ivan tried to tell me that the wheels on a oh, what was it? An Outback or an Impreza Sport were TEs, And like
Oh,
from like
Lord.
across the parking lot, I was like, no, no, they're not.
He's kept gaslighting you into it.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with what Casey said. If you're gonna rock reps, just embrace that they're reps. Don't tell me that your avid ones are actual TEs, because the people who care or know will know. Or like, I don't know. And also, if you're gonna get TE reps, please stop putting the stickers on them. Like, I get it. Avid one has an Avid one sticker. I know the ESR ones has an ESR sticker, but just stop.
Yeah, that shit's gay.
I think
Don't do it.
it's just a little tacky.
Embrace the rep life.
Yeah, it's just embrace it. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like ESRs are a pretty reputable um rep brand. Because I think they do drifting. I think I think there's a Formula D driver that is sponsored by ESR. I'm not quite sure who. If I find out who it is, I'll put a picture in post and we'll put that up. But yeah, that being said, what do you guys think about rep brands? Like, are there brands that you think are okay, or are there brands that you think are better than others, or are they just all trash?
I think that so niche, no, absolutely not. I hate niche wheels. Um, I've owned a set of the STR reps that are like BBS knockoffs, so it was like a three-piece wheel, but it wasn't like a true three-piece wheel. Um, and those were okay. Like I didn't have an issue with those, or because a lot of like rep brands, they half-ass production and they cheap out on a lot of the metal quality, and a lot of the times they end up breaking spokes, and like you get those like horror stories of like people that are just driving, and all of a sudden the whole face comes apart and the wheel gets stuck up into the fender liner, and like they're just riding on the highway with three wheels basically. Like I've never seen it and I've never had it happen, but I've seen it on social media quite a few times, and that's pretty scary to know that there's brands out there that cut corners in like safety and integrity of the wheel itself. Like whatever, like they make reps cheap because they make them cheap. Like that's fine, but don't cheap out super on the quality, like the metals that you use, because that's holding a whole car up and getting the car down the road. Like you shouldn't cheap out on stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, my whole opinion on it is that if you're looking for a good quality wheel, just go with the original one. Because, like, a lot of the warranties, like, let's say you bust a wheel open on a pothole in downtown Seattle on a rep wheel, they're going to be like, oh, well, wasn't us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's my take on it, at least.
and I feel like there are some rep brands where it is much better to just stick with your OEM wheel, because your OEM wheel is made specifically for that car that
Right.
you're driving. Like that wheel is engineered. It's not just like design. It's like engineered for your car most of the time. And it might be heavy, and some of them might be pretty ugly, but in terms of safety and what they do, they're they do exactly what they need to do for a wheel.
Right.
And I mean, people hate stocks, but I think being slammed on stocks is pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm slammed on stocks. Been slammed on stocks the entire time. I've never had an issue with quality or like anything like that. I've never bent one of the barrels or cracked a barrel before. Like I'm also not running a super aggressive stretch or anything crazy, but it's still pretty reliable as far as like OEM quality goes, because like you said, they're made for that car. They're made for that certain like weight that the car is and a certain speed that they can go. And I think that a lot of like the reps, they don't like look at that stuff or probably even care about that stuff. They just push it out the door for money. Like it's all about money now. So no one cares about quality really anymore with the reps.
I definitely agree with that. Since we're on the topic of rep brands, and two of the ones that I see a lot, or actually three of them, are on here on the screen right now. We have a conic heliogram, a conic freeform, an NKT6R, and two ESR wheels, right? I'm pretty sure, like, you guys can add on to this, but those three brands are the three that I tend to see the most. But at the same time, those three, like, if I'm like ranking rep brands, are like at the top of my like list in terms of like quality.
Right.
Because I don't know if you guys know this, but like I know Koenig and NK have like racing background. Like I said, ESR, I think has a foot in drifting. Um, but like
Koenig,
definitely
Koenig just makes such ugly wheels.
they are ugly. A lot of the Koenig wheels are really, really ugly, which is really unfortunate because the technology and performance side of some of the wheels are actually really, really good. But most of them just look like ass.
Yeah. I feel like if you were to get a rep brand, like I feel like there's different tiers to rep wheels and their quality. Like I feel like STR, ESR, are Enkis considered reps or Enkis considered real wheels?
I think most of Enki's stuff is original. There's probably something in there that's a little bit of a rep brand.
Well, let's
Yeah.
see. Where is it?
Enki,
Am I
it's at
blind?
the
Did I
top.
scroll past it? It is. So like, I know the RPF one is an RPF one. You either love it or you hate it, right?
Right.
The TS5 and the Kojin, I feel like are based off of those Advons, the GT Advon GT or Super GTs or whatever, like that 5-spoke design.
Yeah.
And then these PFO ones look a lot like work wheels to me. I forgot they're called
Yeah, like the
the
work
CR
motions.
Kais. Yeah. But then like this TSV, I think is I consider this kind of original. And then I think
Reminds me of a BBS wheel a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of a design. Yeah. BBS design. Yeah.
Oh look, 6-spoke wheel with a sticker.
Couldn't be T37s.
Or like these NTO3s are I'd say are an original design. I think
Yeah.
these are a really unique looking wheel, like these NTO3Ms, because you kind of have like the second ring in them. I think they look good. Some people don't like
Doesn't
them.
doesn't Koenig make that exact same style?
Do they? I feel like Koenig and Enki are around for so long that they have a lot of. See, like this Koenig Ampliform, this is just like, we literally just saw this in like the TSV, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's pretty much the same thing. I guess this decagram is kind of like the NTO3. It just doesn't have that ring around it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I definitely think, like Dalton said, like tier wise, I would put Koenig and Enki at the top.
I would put ESR up there. ESR makes pretty good wheels too
I think
for a
people
rep.
just hate on ESR because almost all their designs are reps.
Yeah.
But to be fair to ESR, they are a newer company, and you can only design so many things before you run into repeating designs.
Right.
Like I'll always hate on TE reps because I'm a big TE guy. And Dalton hates me for it, but like it works. It's an open face 6-spoke design, and it's in like terms of motorsport, it does everything you need it to. It has good. It's a design that gives brake clearance and airflow, and
And
they're
it matches with a lot of cars too.
yeah, it's an easy design to like lean towards no matter what company you are, or like a 5-spoke design. A lot of tons and tons of companies have like simple 5-spoke designs,
Yeah.
right? But I think for a company like ESR, it's hard for them to make an original design because they're a newer company than some of the ones that have been
So
around
those
forever.
those ESRs, those white ones that are like the multi-piece with the barrel, that looks just like the OEM. What was that? The wheels that were on that E46 last night that we were talking about.
Oh, the
MPARs?
parallels?
Yes, those look just like the M parallels.
These are Blitzo 3 refs.
Yeah.
Okay.
The CS15s, these are Blitzo 3 reps. But like they look good on like a lot of cars, right? Like it's just the design that doesn't look good. But like
There's a GTI here on Fitment Industries that I was looking at that has a good amount of camber, but it's running those wheels, and I love it for it.
like yeah, and let's go back here. But yeah, I'd throw ESR up there because they do make forged designs. ESR does make forged 3-piece wheels on their
Yeah.
website in custom offsets and custom specifications, which is like a huge step in, I think, a redeeming factor for ESR. Because yeah, the 3-piece designs are still reps, but if you're offering a service like that, like it's gotta be like pretty decent.
Right.
I don't know anyone running ESR 3-piece wheels, like the custom made 3-piece ones, but I'd say that's pretty cool for a company like as small as they are, or
Right.
I guess with less history. In terms for like bottom of the barrel niches there, I think XXR 100% for me is at the
I
bottom.
can't believe XXR is like at the top of the list.
I think it's because they're so popular, because they're so cheap.
God.
I think that's why.
That's another thing. When rep wheels make like the multi bolt patterns, those are so unsafe. Like it's so not okay to do that.
Literally, literally the first 4 here are
So
multi-bolt.
bad.
But like, look how
$681.
yeah, that's a 16 by 8. Here, this is an 18 by 8.5. So this is a more common, like
It looks
modern
just like
car.
a TE.
It's pretty much a 5-spoke TE. But for 850, like,
Yeah. Is that for a
like
set or per wheel?
that's a set. That's a set of
Oh.
4.
Well. Oh.
Like this. It's a Meister. It's a
Yeah,
Workmeister.
It is very close to a Meister.
Yeah, the crazy thing is though that this set is still cheaper than one Meister.
Man.
But like that's the thing. I feel like when a set of wheels is like this cheap, something's up.
Yeah.
Like
I also hate that they have like 4 different like versions of a Workmeister.
did they? I didn't
They
see
did.
that.
They have the XXR, the 555. They
Where
have the
is it?
565.
Oh. Yeah. 555, 565. What's the one up here that we saw at the beginning? That's another 555. But yeah, that's another thing. I think ESR does it too with different like lines in their wheels. But
It hurts head.
they copy a lot of like it's weird when they copy the same wheel multiple times and just name it something different.
Okay, can we talk about one thing though?
Yeah.
What the hell is Off-Road Monster?
They're off-road wheels, Casey? Oh.
Oh no.
This is
I'm
weird.
so glad nothing pulled up there.
Well, this is weird because this is Fitment Industries, right? And so it I don't have a vehicle selected on the left. So this should just show any wheel that they have, but there's nothing here.
That's weird.
Maybe they're adding something?
Maybe it's a brand new wheel brand.
It could be.
Let's go. Let's take a look into the good old BBS while we're in here.
Now,
yeah.
BBS, these are crazy expensive.
Yes, they are.
Where would you guys draw the line on a set of wheels being too expensive?
4K.
The 8400, and it's really not even. Yeah, I don't know where. You're just paying for the brand. That's all. You're just paying for the 3 letters. But
I
I feel like that 3920 should be where the 8400 is. Like that.
the RF.
Yeah, like that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like
Actually, something else that's crazy, And I don't think BBS realizes that this happens with their wheels. So this LMR with the bronze face, it's a 20 by 11 plus 40 is 8,400 for a square set. Mashimaro offers custom made BBSs, and they are $3,000 cheaper.
That's crazy.
Like they will source a barrel, they'll source a face, and they'll put it together for you, and it is cheaper than what BBS sells it for.
But that's probably why it's cheaper, because they're sourcing a barrel and they're sourcing a face and then putting it together. BBS makes all their stuff in-house.
Yeah. But then I feel like, so performance side, right? This LMR is crazy, crazy expensive, right? It's a 20 by 11. It weighs 37 pounds for the one wheel.
And somebody put them on a blaster.
So that's a 20 by 11. Is there a bigger RF somewhere? Is there something up here? Because BBS also makes these single piece or what is it, monoblock wheels, like these RFs. I guess this is 18 by 8. But these, in terms of like track performance wise, is better than the LMR.
Yeah.
Like when you talk to track guys, none of them run, like they all run like E88s because they weigh super light, but they're still cheaper than these are. Like I remember
Are the cheaper ones that everyone runs, are they lighter than the 8400, or are they the same weight?
let me see if I can find it.
Should say sort by weight or something.
Here we go, model. Oh no, I did that wrong. Oh god. I broke it. Okay. Where is it? So we'll do, I don't even know if they have E88s on here. They don't. But say like the FIR, because Wet M3 runs these, and look at the price of this wheel.
Oh, 9,600? Holy shit.
So here's
37 pounds. 37, it weighs the same.
Okay, but then we go back and we're gonna go look at my TEs, because it's like an easy comparison in terms of like wheel, because this is also another wheel that runs on a lot of BMWs. This wheel is 29 pounds. It's lighter, and it's literally a third of the price of the set of FIRs.
Yeah. You're literally paying for the brand. That's it.
And I love BBS. I want to own a set of BBSs one day, and I want to own a set of LMRs, but the BBS tax is real, and it is crazy to own like the real, like true like old school style BBS. Just because look at this. I mean, that's a 16-inch wheel, but this BBS SX, what the heck is this? This looks like it belongs on that CX-9 we saw last night.
Oh no. Don't remind me.
Oh.
Right? Like, I love BBS. I grew up always wanting a set of BBSs, but someone's going to hate me for saying this, and this is going to be the hottest take I'll probably make in this episode. BBS has gone so far downhill.
Really?
I can get behind that.
Because it went downhill when they started making this like cheap, affordable cast. Or I guess I don't even know, is this forged or cast?
100% cast. That has to be.
I don't know. It
No
has
way
to be
forged
cast.
wheels that cheap from BBS.
But like that's the problem with like BBS now, is that their forged stuff is so sought after and it's so expensive. But they keep churning out this like cast shit, and it's just like nothing makes me angrier than seeing someone own a cheap set of cast BBSs. I think it makes me angrier than them owning a set of rep like LMRs or E88s, because it's like bottom barrel of they're doing it to flex that they have BBSs, but their BBSs costed $1,400. which is only $200 more expensive than my VMRs, and they probably weigh the same in terms of like performance and weight.
It is identical to Ferrari trying to make a commuter car.
Yes. Or like, oh God, I just lost it. Okay, we'll come back to it. But yeah, literally what Casey said. It's literally Ferrari building a crossover. And then I don't know. It's a company that's gone so far downhill because they've gone so far away from their initial design philosophy of being these track oriented wheels.
Yeah, we're definitely living in a different time now than we were 10 years ago, even 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But then like there are like other companies who have been around a long time, but they've like stuck to their original design. They haven't really gone away from it. Like Work Wheels is really good at it. They still make literally the same wheels. I don't
Yeah.
think they've come out with a new design in years. Um, Advon does it. Volk does it. Graham Lights does it. I know Momo. Man, when's the last time you guys heard of Momo wheels? They still make like the original designs from like early 2000s. Like they just don't mess around with like designs. And
Yeah, I mean, if it works, why change it?
yeah, and yeah, there are some BBS wheels that are great, and then there are other BBS wheels that I put in the same category as niche.
Yeah.
Like there's got to be two different design teams or something, right?
Yeah, there might be.
Because it's just so far apart.
Look up find VIP modular.
I don't think they have. They don't.
Oh, they don't.
Not on here. We'll talk about this after, and I'll throw something up on here, and we can take a look at it.
Okay.
But there is a wheel company I want to talk about before we go. And I think this one, I just want to know what you guys think about it. Let's see if I can find it. Where is it? Because I know people have a lot of mixed feelings. Here it is. SSR.
That's R.
People say they're reps. People say
They
they're
are.
real.
No, they're not.
Some people say they're trash. Others will
They
say
can
that
be.
they are cheaper version of Work Wheels. I think Dalton's made itself clear that I do agree they're reps. I will say that they are reps because this is a Meister, that's a Meister. Some of them even have the same names, like oh god,
I
how
see
far
mostly
is it?
knockoff BBSs.
Like the Professor.
Yeah.
Like this is another Meister, right? Like SSR is at its core a rep brand. But do you guys put it at the top of that like rep category or at the bottom?
I'd put them
Oh.
over the top.
I
But
say it's kind of like Heritage Wheels. Like they started out as a rep brand. Like I don't know a lot about like SSR, but I'm only assuming that they kind of started out as a rep brand, and then they went to a like trying to make their own wheel, and it's kind of working, kind of not.
Okay, but here's what's
yeah.
interesting because you see the first paragraph, the bio on SSR. The second sentence literally says it's recognized as one of the first Japanese wheel companies to make aftermarket wheels.
Oh, well.
Oh shit.
So,
At least they went up to it.
right? So, because I think they're an American-based No, they're Japanese-based. That's literally what it says. I can't read, but I would put them up at the top of that rep category because they do sponsor a drift driver, a Formula Drift driver. I know this for a fact that they sponsored Chris Forsberg because I followed him for a long time, and he's ran SSR wheels on almost all of his cars. Casey is right though. A lot of these do look like BBSs, like
They
this
do.
MS1 right here looks just like an E88, um, with just less, I guess not concavity. What's like there's less of a bubble in the face. And then doesn't Enki have something that looks just like this? Or
Koenig
this
does
CS5, I
too.
think.
or both of these? Yeah, both Koenig and Enki have something that look just like both of these. Do you
Oh,
guys
could
know
be
if these are
better.
forged, or if the three pieces are forged?
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Because this is expensive for a monoblock wheel
Yeah.
at this price. I don't know, but I think we're all agreeing that SSR is a rep brand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree with what Dalton also said, that they are at the top of that um, ladder for rep brands, I guess. There is another company that is in the same boat, and I think you guys know, but Rotiform.
The most
Okay.
overused wheel in the Euro scene.
It really is.
That's facts.
But do you guys consider Rotiform a rep brand? Because I think this one's harder to say yes or no to,
Yeah.
because they do have a lot of designs that are unique.
Yeah.
Like,
They definitely like just those first 10 right there. All I mean, they're a lot of like what we've been going through, like the SSRs, the Koenigs, the Enkis. Like the whole page is just pretty much the same design. Like there's a little bit difference, but there's not a whole lot of difference. At least with these, like I can tell that these all look different somewhat.
yeah, like there is like the Ken Block wheels, right? The KB ones. Rest in peace, Ken Block. Without this lip on the edge, it's essentially just another six spoke open face design wheel,
Yeah.
right? But they're able to add this twist to it that just makes them different. Um, Same with like the BLQs. I don't know what this is actually inspired by, but I know that this is also like a kind of unique design to Rotiform.
Yeah.
It the LASR, or the not the LASR, but the BLQs. You know those like old school Corollas that you always see, like those A86s with
Yeah.
the four spoke
Oh,
wheels?
yeah.
It looks like it's just that, just doubled and outlined.
Yeah. Oh, and I think I said it without realizing it, but I think that's another point about Rotiform, is that the wheels are inspired by something, not like
Not
copying
just a wet
something.
dream.
Yeah. Like I know the RSE is a copy of a BBS LM, like a flat face LM without a lip. But like the center cap design is enough of a change for me to where it looks different, right? Like it's just is enough to where it's an original design.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I would definitely put these at like the top. Like they're overused, but they are a good wheel. Like Rotiform does make some really good quality wheels.
Yeah, as far as quality goes and metals that they use, I feel like because I would own a pair of rotiforms if it fit the car enough. But yeah, I mean I've never heard any crazy stories of rotiform wheels giving out or the spokes breaking or anything crazy like that. So I think that they make a pretty decent wheel. It's very overhyped and overplayed, but if it's a good go-to wheel, like if you're new into the car scene or
It's
whatever, and
safe.
they're pretty affordable for what they are and their different designs and stuff like that. So I can't hate that part. They're just very overplayed.
Holy shit, 1400 for a set of 19 by 10 wheels is actually crazy cheap.
Yeah,
So yeah, I would say get these over a set of like JNCs or even ESRs.
yeah, for
You
sure.
might look like everyone else, but hey, if it works, don't try and fix it, right?
Right.
All right. I think that's going to be our perfect segue onto the next um, segment topic that we're talking about, which is, I guess, also kind of in the rep versus real category, which is show aero. So basically, for me, my definition of show aero is aero that is made to just look good. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't truly serve a purpose. Like it's just there purely for looks.
Yeah.
Like I think we can agree on that.
Yeah,
And
I
then
mean, you gonna take that car to the track? No. Are you gonna take that car to the track? No. They're just all for show.
and I think we looked. Casey and I looked through this earlier when you were figuring out your mic, Dalton. But when it comes to these wings, we'll do a trunk mounted one for a BMW because BMWs see a lot of track time. They they offer carbon fiber, right? And then they offer FRP. But for me, being a performance oriented guy, this wing doesn't look like it provides any downforce.
No, it's curved up. Like, what does
It's
that offer?
the front edge of the wing is up, like it's
Yeah.
curved up. If
What does that
anything,
catch?
this provides lift. I mean, I get it. You can angle it down. It's got the um like the you can change the
Yeah.
spacing for the bolt to change the
Yeah.
angle of the wing. But I wouldn't trust this on my car on a track. Like
No, absolutely not.
to do something. And even the struts look not like they're meant for a track, right? They don't look strong enough for me.
I actually heard something interesting on that. So those Lamborghini Super Trofeo Huracans that are supposed to be running like 24-hour Le Mans or something like that. It's all the bottom of the spoiler that's doing most of the work, is what I've heard. Since the wing mounts come up from the trunk and they attach to the top of the spoiler.
Oh, like the swan neck?
Yeah.
Like a swan neck spoiler? Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the people who aren't performance and track oriented, the way that a wing works, it's like an upside down airplane wing, right? The top of the wing normally has an upward curve to it towards the back. So it's flat towards the front and then it curves up towards the back. And what that does is that it creates a high pressure area on top of the wing, pushing it down. It's like if you stuck your hand out of a car window and like put your palm straight out, but like then turn your thumb back a little bit. The wind's pushing your hand down. A wing is supposed to do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Now, the whole thing about F1 cars and LMP cars and like GT cars getting sucked to the ground is a different kind of aero. And that's more something like they don't have anything here, but like a diffuser does the opposite of what a wing does. The diffuser is on the bottom side of a surface on the car, and it makes the air under it go travel faster and smoother, and that's what sucks the car to the ground. That being said, the reason that I said that wing isn't doing anything is because of the curve of it. To me, I don't think it creates enough downforce to justify it being on the car. And then two, so I can go back to it. Two, the angle of this middle piece right here, I mean, it's for an E92, so the window is like right there. So it might be helping, but it does look like that front edge is higher, which means it's creating just lift, like it's just pulling the wing upward.
In what scenario would you need lift
Never.
for racing?
Never.
Okay.
Like there's never a case when you need lift, because lift means there's less weight on your wheels, which means that the rubber is not having full contact. And so you never want lift. That being said, with what I said about diffusers, if you're building a track car and you just throw a wing on it, that wing is not doing anything except slowing you down in a straight line. Because you need the combination of that air flowing under the car and under the wing too. So that air needs to go over and under the wing, smoothly under the wing, to create downforce. If it doesn't,
Got it.
then it's just there as drag.
Yeah.
And if anything, that hurts your time more than anything. So in performance world, a company like Battle Aero or NRG does not make a good wing. But back to like the original topic of us talking about show aero, whether or not it is good or whether or not like we like it or not, I hate show aero. Like this BRZ or GT86, whatever it is. I get that it has a Rocket Bunny wide body kit, which is for show. But what the heck are those canards? And what the heck is that lip?
Yeah, that's where people start to take the show arrow too far, is when they start doing like things that don't even make sense on the car. It's just to stand out and oh, look at me, look at me. It's just an eye grabber. Like it's the first thing that you'd see when you walk in, whether you like it or not. It still catches your eye. So I think that's more of maybe what they're trying to go for, but yeah, I being in the car scene like that, like I'm not really about arrow, like show arrow, like that big wing on the back of that whatever BRZ, Scion, Toyota, whatever it is. Like it's just not. No, I don't agree with it, but a lot of people love it. I don't really care for it, but a lot of people. I love the wide body, and I love the wheels. I love the side skirts. Does he have a diffuser on the back? I don't think
No, that's
he.
just the
It
OEM
looks
like
carbon.
plastic.
Is it OEM? Okay,
It
so
just
yeah,
looks
he's
like
just chassis mounted wing on the back. It's just like, can you even lift your trunk? Like, can you even open the trunk with that on there?
I think I've seen it before. I think those chassis mounted wings fold down and then the trunk comes up.
Okay.
But that also leads something else because I see like cheap chassis mounted wings or universal, like these kinds of companies making these wings as like safety hazards. Like a company like APR that does wind tunnel testing with like their aero or like have put it on actual race cars and have gone
Yeah.
180 170 miles an hour, you
Mhm.
can bet your ass that wing is staying on there.
Yeah.
But the fact that I know that that wing folds down so the trunk can open, that's a little scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, I don't know if these guys actually drive these very fast on the road, but if you're doing like 120 or even 100, like, how well is that wing going to actually hold up? Because the weak point is going to be where it folds down to get the trunk open.
Yeah, and there's nothing also holding that wing in besides maybe a couple pins. And if you don't screw those couple pins down, your wing's gonna become a sparking hazard. And actually, I'm gonna branch off of that. Andy, go back to the home page of this godforsaken site and go down just a little bit. Let's focus on those two Subarus right there in the center.
As soon as I saw the Subarus, I
Here it
knew you
is.
were going to go to them.
Dude, it is like a B series Honda with those stupid hatch like spoilers that point straight up.
Good old
It is the most
duckbills.
stupid thing I think I've ever seen, and I hate it. I hate it, and I don't like it. That's not a duck bill. That's a freaking peacock bill. So stupid.
You know what this reminds me of? I don't know if they have any here, but oh hey, look, duckbill spoiler.
Oh, you better not.
It's gonna
Oh
that'd
god.
be.
Is it? Hell, there's a specific one I'm looking for. It's not
Oh,
on
yep.
here.
They're classified under duckbills.
Yep.
Look at the two Subarus.
But
Oh, there's three of them. There's
have you
four
guys
of them.
seen the Hellcats or I guess Chargers and Challengers that have it? You know the BMW style one that has the notch in the middle, the one that Jacob has. Have you
Yeah.
seen the Mopar version where they put a piece of fiber like plexiglass on it?
No.
Oh no, I hate those. I hate those so much.
Okay, hold up. I need to show Dalton this.
I think it's visors.
Vice. Is this the one?
Viszers. Look up just Bicer's aero. It should be somewhere there.
No, hold up, hold up. Oh my god, it's a suggested. But like this. This?
Oh,
Have you ever
ew.
seen this?
No, I'm glad I've never have.
Oh, you will. You live in
Ew.
Washington.
You will. We live in
They
Oh, this
put
is
that on the Chargers? That's the ugliest shit I've ever seen.
and
What is
I
that side piece doing there?
Yeah,
I don't
what
know what that does.
wait, is that a completely separate piece? Like, do you
It
have to
is.
mount that?
No.
Oh my god! No way!
Oh, it's
That's
VIC. This is the actual. This is even the. But let's take a look at this real quick since Casey brought this up. No, I don't want to subscribe. Okay, where is?
I can't watch this.
We'll just go to view customer builds and we'll take a look
Oh,
at
no.
this.
Oh god, no.
But this is another
Let's
show
look
aero
at that
company.
Mustang right there. I got a bone
Yeah.
to pick with that thing.
Oh
yeah.
god, he's on stocks.
Better than reps.
Oops.
I can't click. This is all I can do. Even the website's
I'm
broken.
gonna pick this dude apart. What the hell is that wing? And what the hell is that diffuser? It looks like
Yeah.
something that came off of freaking
Oh.
what's the villain on Batman?
Joker?
Bane. It looks like Bane's
Oh.
mask.
It really
Yeah.
does.
It does
This-
look like Bane's mask.
You know what's worse?
It's purple.
It's an EcoBoost.
Oh.
That's gotta hurt his ego.
But are those fake carbon, like forged
Those
carbon?
are fake GT350 wheels. Those are rep GT350 wheels.
Oh man.
And yes, that's another thing. Stop buying fake carbon parts. I know I have a lip spoiler on my 3 Series, the most typical BMW thing, right? But mine is actually OEM. So mine is actually carbon all the way through. It's not like carbon overlay plastic. And oh hey, look, it's a BMW spoiler on a charger. Oh hey, look, there's another one. Oh look, Casey, it's your favorite on the
Kill
Z.
yourselves.
Oh look, another one. Forget about rep wheels. There's even rep aero.
Can
Have
we
you
look
guys?
at that steering wheel real quick?
God, I don't want to.
Oh god.
I don't want this on my browser history, man.
This is like the opposite of Pornhub.
I'd rather have that.
I'd rather have that too.
Another thing about another piece of quote unquote show aero, louvers. Stop putting louvers on your cars.
Oh, is that the slats in the back window?
Of this charger,
Yeah.
especially on a muscle car, especially on a Camaro, you already can't see out of it. Don't make it worse, please.
I like it when they made because didn't they make OEM ones for like the old muscle cars?
So
Like the old 302s.
early 2000s and then way back in the old 302s, there were Mustangs that had louvers.
They
Yeah.
look good.
But
They actually look good. They came stock with those.
but there's also an aerodynamic aspect to having louvers. It's literally to help the air flow off the back of your window. So there's a purpose behind it. This louver on this charger, the only purpose is so you can't see a BMW coming up behind you to get gapped.
You're not
Or-
wrong.
Or like, and I hate, stop putting this stupid arrow on your base model cars. I'm looking at you 328i drivers. Stop putting M4 front bumpers on your 328i.
I'm also looking at you Impreza drivers that wish they were WRX drivers. Stop swapping the fucking bumpers.
Like, okay, this Mustang, at least this is a 5.0. And I'm gonna be honest, this Mustang right here, it's the best looking car on this entire screen.
Yep.
This one's looks pretty good. Also, this charger, get rid of those splitter struts. Those aren't doing anything. They're they're not even. I don't even think they're mounted to the bumper. I think they're mounted to the grill.
They're mounted to the grill. You're right.
Same with this Corvette. Stop it. You remember I told you guys when I put my lip on and I didn't put bolts far enough forward and it was flapping and hitting the ground at 60 miles an hour?
Yeah.
What does that do at 160?
Like, what the heck is going on? Like, what is this going to do for this guy? Because I sure know damn well this guy's not going to be considering how strong that lip holds onto that bumper when he's going faster. Or like, I don't know. I think I did find something that makes me angrier than rep TEs, and it's rep aero or show aero. It's just
I'm gonna branch off on that too. My whole opinion is I'm okay with it as long as it isn't like endangering
God.
somebody else's life. Like your freaking park bench quick release spoilers. That's gonna endanger somebody.
He said park bench.
Dude, I can eat my whole lunch off that.
I think the park bench is safer
Yeah.
Yeah.
because at least it doesn't move.
Bolt that on the bottom of your freaking 86, dude.
Also, I see Vicris, whatever this, however you pronounce this company, they show up every now and then on my Instagram feed, and they all look so scuffed. Oh my god, there is a BMW on here. I want to know what he has.
2 mods.
But I can't even believe that their website is this scuffed. Like, I don't know. I feel like carbon fiber front lip. Huh.
Where is it?
I don't see it.
I don't see it either. He probably took it off because it was too ugly.
Oh, that's another thing too. Like, if you have a performance card, please don't put cheap aero on it. Because like Casey said, one, it's just a hazard. And if you do cheap aero, like if you buy a cheap lip, that's different because you're gonna go low and you're gonna break it, probably. But don't put an energy wing on your car. Or an energy
Don't
steering
put
wheel.
anything energy in your car. Just end of story.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty I don't even think that's a hot take. I think that's just facts.
That's a true take.
That's facts. Like anything
You're gonna
energy.
die. Those energy bucket seats and their freaking energy what is it, 5-point harnesses? They're not approved. If you get in a crash, that bar is gonna be in the back of your head and your straps are gonna be around your steering wheel. And your steering wheel is gonna break off.
Yeah, there's a reason that like companies like Momo's steering wheels are like 5, 6, $700. And there's a reason like Sparco and Recaro seats are, $1,500. Because
Okay.
or yeah, like they're expensive for a reason. Like don't cheap out on safety and
Especially if it's yours or your passengers.
yeah. And don't cheap out on aero because then you're just endangering those around you. And if you're gonna stance a car, then just don't put like ridiculous aero on it. Like we're gonna go back to Stancy Pants because it's easy and everyone knows about his RX-8. That wing on the back of his car looked like it was gonna fall off at any second.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm glad that my lip didn't fall off when I test drove it, but I test drove it on an empty road and it's just a lip. It's a plastic lip. And I was still thinking like, oh my god, what if this just doesn't hold and it flies off and smacks another car or something? And that was like a 10-minute drive for me to test that lip. But like some people will drive around with this stuff. Oh, and there's another rep, I guess, cosmetic item. And I
Don't you
think
dare.
makes me angrier than anything else is stop putting fucking M wing mirror caps on your non-M cars, 328i drivers, and especially if your car is not a BMW. Even Supras. I see it. I'm starting to see it everywhere now. Like there's Q50s and Q60s with like winged mirror caps. And it's just like,
I see
what are they
GTIs with it.
doing? Yeah. It's like, why? Like, I think I think that's worse than rep wheels is when you have aero that is from another company. Like, either just don't run mirror caps or don't run a spoiler or don't run a lip and like stay true to the brand that you bought or just go buy that other brand. Volkswagen isn't even on here. Oh, never mind. I just can't. Again, I can't read.
Oh God.
We're
No,
gonna take a look.
no.
We gotta take a
We're just
look.
gonna see Dalton's car, front and center.
See, okay. Speaking of Dalton's car is low. Dalton, do you have any pieces of aero on your car?
No, because my car is not. No,
Yes, you
because my
do.
my car is not, well, a body kit, but it's not like show arrow.
It's a body kit. It's bumpers, side skirts. It's
Yeah,
not.
front lip, rear bumper lip, one of those little like, could you even, you could, I guess you could consider it like a little duck bill, I guess, on the rear trunk.
It's a lip, bro, and
Yeah,
even that thing is on there for to
y-
stay.
right. Yeah, like it's not going anywhere.
The front
Um,
lip, on the other hand,
yeah, that was a different story. That's no longer in the group chat. That left.
I had left in two pieces.
Yeah, it did. It held up. Like it wasn't like installation error. It was just user error because my dumbass likes to ride really low, and we hit something in the road, and it split it, but it didn't actually like blow it to pieces. It just like ripped off like one of the like fangs, I guess.
Oh man, a big shout out to Russ's lip on a 140-mile-an-hour pole.
That thing was a trooper, man.
That's another thing about lips. I do feel like running a cheap plastic front lip might be even safer than running a cheap carbon one that is mounted incorrectly because carbon is fucking strong. Like if
Carbon
that
is
comes
strong.
off and it hits something else, like a piece of carbon might go through a window, like a windshield. But like I think a piece of plastic would just bounce off.
I
Right?
always
Am I
think it's
right in
funny
thinking that?
seeing. I always think it's funny seeing the uh how people are like, yeah, carbon's super strong, and it is. Carbon is very strong material, but it's always funny like you see carbon like when people are like hauling ass, and then they'll be pulling into like a parking lot, and they'll be too low to the ground, and they'll scrape, and it'll just blow into pieces. That's what always like cracks me up, is seeing how you're not even doing anything crazy. You're just trying to get into a parking lot and you scrape and it just blows into a million pieces.
I think it's just the fact of that concrete's harder than air, even at
That
160, 170 miles an hour.
that too. And yeah, like I don't know. Like I think the only piece of aero you should cheap out on is a front lip because
Yeah, because you could go like if you're low, like I would not spend a grand on a lip because I know it's gonna get beat to hell. I know I'm probably gonna crack it again. I know I'm gonna have to replace it. So 300-400 bucks or less on a front lip and you're good. Like you don't need to be spending all this crazy money on a front lip.
yeah, but like everything else, side skirts, spoiler, roof spoiler, like don't buy the plastic crap cuz like even if it is mounted correctly, plastic gets weak over time.
Yeah.
It can crack. It flexes, plastic flexes, and that's just another safety hazard.
Yeah.
You hear that, WX owners? Enough with your stupid fucking roof spoilers or roof louvers. Fucking tired
Oh
of
my
this.
god, yes, and louvers. Stop putting louvers on your cars. It's louvers are just a safety hazard. Like, I don't get it. I got a warning once because I had a banner on my E92 that I could see through. Like, it was low, right? Like, I got a warning. He didn't give me a ticket. He gave me a warning. But then, like, is it still here? Can I still see it? But then, like, this Charger has these rear louvers, and you literally can't see out the rear window.
Yeah.
And usually, cops don't bat an eye when a car has louvers. But when they're
No. Yeah.
stickers, though, dude, they lose their minds. And it's
Yeah.
like,
But
what?
that's also like weird that you got pulled over for a banner that was super low and you could see through it, because I've been running banners on my windshield forever and I've never had a cop even mention it or even like say anything about it to me.
To be fair, I got pulled over for speeding, and he warned me about the banner. But yeah,
Okay. Well,
but
that's a different story.
but
How
like,
did you get pulled over for revving in a parking garage?
that was
Yes,
not me.
Yes, I
Oh,
did.
Dalton.
Yeah, did he not like say anything?
No, he never said anything about the banner. Yeah, like he didn't say anything about the car, not even the hood stack. It was just the fact that I was just being loud. That's it. I thought for sure he was gonna write me for like illegal exhaust and like the banner on the front and the headlights. The headlights are illegal too.
How are the headlights illegal?
They're modified factory headlights, so they're if they're not like so it's not like technically considered like a DOT standard or like DOT passed headlight. Uh, um, so that's illegal too.
Yeah, every time you ride behind me, I feel like it's daytime
Yeah,
in the back window.
they're pretty bright.
Yeah. We want to go on to the feature.
Yep, let's do it.
Okay.
Feature. Feature.
Oh, I closed. Hold up. Let me open this.
I'm actually excited for this feature.
Okay. So we have for the feature of the podcast, we've got Nick's 2013.5 Jetta GLI. I guess the .5 because it's not considered a facelift if I don't think, but it'd be like the final year for that generation before they did the facelift, because 2013 would be considered like a pre-facelift for the Mark 6 Jettas. So his must be like a final edition before they did the facelift. But he's got a huge list of stuff that he's done to it. And he's got it categorized for us. So we'll start with the engine compartment. So he's got a CTS, turbo throttle pipe, turbo muffler delete, turbo outlet pipe, throttle body spacer, blow off valve, catch can, engine and transmission mounts, and a turbo back exhaust. He does not. Oh, I guess they're all CTS. Yeah, he only named one brand for all those parts, so it's all CTS for that stuff. And then he's got a ECS tuning, carbon fiber intake, aluminum skid plate, and aluminum oil pan. And then transmission, he's got the Shop DAP Holly Shift short shifter, 034 Motorsports lower pendulum mount, South Bend Stage 3 clutch, drop-in disc. That's it for transmission stuff. For wheels, which are my like favorite part of this car, he is running the HRE 549s, and those are 19 by 8.5. So he doesn't give the offset; he just gives the dimension and the size. But those are my favorite, and he's like tucking 19s, which are kind of hard to do in Volkswagens. So I give him a lot of props for being able to tuck 19s and the big brake kit, which we'll get to. So for tires, he's running 225/35 Achilles ATR Sports. Front brakes are the Mark 6 Golf R calipers. Tyrol Sport caliper stiffening kit. ECS tuning 2-piece cross-drilled and slotted rotors and stainless steel braided lines. For rear brakes, he's got ECS tuning cross-drilled slotted rotors. That's it for rear brakes. And then suspension, he's got Airlift Performance Series bags with the three-piece or 3P management. He's got two air compressors, 444cc via air compressors. For body, he's got the Mark 6 Golf R front bumper, ECS tuning carbon fiber grille, lip, and rear diffuser, Audi style sequential LED headlights. And then for interior, he's got Carbon Creations Mark 6.5 steering wheel, Black Forest Industry LE carbon fiber shift knob, Alcantara door cards, armrest, rear deck lid, and then European underseat storage bins, which I thought was a pretty cool feature that is a really like subtle thing that you're not going to really notice, but if you look close enough, you'll be able to see it. Uh, that's pretty hard to find is the underseat storage bins and their OEM. So I thought that was a pretty cool touch that he did to the car as well. And that is it for his mod list. So Andy, why don't you take it away and what do you think of the car? Like what's your first impression of it?
Okay, first thought, I couldn't figure out why the front bumper doesn't, I wouldn't say looks weird, but doesn't look like normal.
Yeah.
Until you said it's a Mark 6?
Yeah. So it's a Mark 6 Golf R bumper. So they don't actually, so that's going to be like a aftermarket feature. They didn't actually, you can't actually put a Golf R bumper on a Jetta and it fit properly. So that's more of like an aftermarket feature. They didn't sell those from the factory, but a lot of aftermarket companies make those. And I forget the actual brand that made like the best quality ones. I'm sure he probably has it, but a lot of companies make like the Duraflex cheap plastic ones that just look, they don't fit right and they just look awful.
Yeah, I think that's sick. I think it looks so fitting and so much more aggressive.
Yeah.
Dalton, no offense to your car, but think the bigger side vents look good on a Jetta compared to like the smaller ones.
Are you talking about the front grill or?
Yeah, the front grille, like by where the fog lights are.
Oh, okay.
I think that giant opening looks really good.
Yeah.
And I love this about his car. I love that everything that is turbo related to his car is from the same company. And then the only things that aren't, like there's only two companies in his engine bay, ECS and
Yeah.
CTS. I think that's so sick. Because I want to do the same thing to my car with Turner Motorsports. They make pretty much everything, even down to suspension, and that's what I want to do to mine.
Yeah.
Is it a GOI?
Yeah, it is a GLI.
So it moves.
Yeah, I don't know what he's got in like as far as like tuning and stuff like that and like bolt-ons and stuff, but and I've never actually seen him like get on it before and I've never really seen him drive it around. So I can't really say like how quick it is, but yeah, the GLIs from the factory, they're not fast. But they get off the line pretty quick.
Yeah, I think it's. I
See a
always.
front mount intercooler.
Yeah, I
So
do
I'm
see a
only expecting stage
huge
2.
intercooler. I see a huge
Yeah.
intercooler, and there's a lot of uh go fast parts in this picture. I love the carbon fiber airbox. I feel like I'm biased, but I love it. It looks great. It probably sounds amazing. Did he say?
Yeah.
And oh yeah, he does have a CTS turbo back exhaust. You said right?
Yeah.
I do see. Are those R8 coils?
They're APR coils.
APR coils? Okay.
Yeah.
I love his build. I love that. I love all the carbon. I'm a sucker for carbon. I'm a
Yeah.
sucker for HREs. I'm a sucker for big brake kits, and I'm a sucker for low cars that can also go fast.
Yeah.
So I honestly would give this a 9 out of 10. I think this car, it's it sounds like a solid build. I would love to see it in person. And I pointed this out before we did this segment. The reason that he's losing the 1 point for me is the fact that his front and rear brake calipers are two different colors.
Yeah.
I would love to see. I think red on the front caliper would be perfect since he still has the red reflectors on the back.
Yeah. So
Um.
red comes factory with the GLI calipers.
Okay, and then is yellow. That's a Golf R front caliper
Yeah, so
and
they're slightly
rotor, right?
bigger than the GLIs.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that he's low, but he has these mat. He's got the stopping power to freaking stop a semi truck.
Yeah.
Like I love that. Like,
Yeah,
and
he definitely overbuilt it for what it is.
yeah, like it's. I love the headlights. I think being around you, Dalton. Okay, I think one day I'm gonna need to own a Jetta. I don't know if it's gonna be
Oh,
TDI.
I've never. This is the exclusive. This is first time I've ever heard you say that before.
I I've driven a GTI with DSG stock,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it's fun. It's light, and you can definitely notice. And I don't know if GLIs get a DSG,
Yeah, they come with a DSG as well.
but maybe one day I would like to daily a DSG GLI, like instead of whipping the N54 around and being scared of me just losing all my oil. Like I do like the Mark 6 Jettas. I think they look great. I think they're like the perfect mix of aggressiveness and like it's like a bigger body car. It's not. I wouldn't really say it's a big body car because I think that's the Passat.
Yeah,
But who knows? Maybe I'll end up in a Passat too. But like I like
Passats. Passats are nice as well. Passats are comfy, like they're really comfy dailies.
yeah, and I know. I mean, I think they look great, and I like. Man, here's a hot take. I like DSG farts because under
Why?
I understand why it works or like how it
Okay.
works. And I can
Yeah.
appreciate the engineering behind it and I understand why it makes that sound. It's not a
Yeah.
great sound, but every time I hear one, I get a little excited because I'm like, "Ooh, that's a really 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 fancy transmission."
Yeah.
It's basically PDK. It's like Porsche's PDK.
Yeah.
Like I'll take a manual Porsche, but PDK is always going to be cool. It's like that. And I might be the only ever BMW guy that's gonna admit this, but I would like to own an Audi or a Volkswagen one day as a daily. I would daily. I wouldn't make it fast. I wouldn't make it a track car, but having it as my like car that I live in, I would definitely do it.
Yeah. It's
And
interesting that you've like have grown to like Volkswagens. I don't Did you like Volkswagens before we met?
so I've always liked GTIs, and when I when I wrecked my E92, right? I was literally so there was two cars I was gonna buy. It was gonna be the Dynan 335 that I have now, or there's three cars. The Dynan 335 I have now, a same dark blue with brown seat S4 that I was gonna get, or a white manual GTI. And the
What
only
what
reason
generation?
it was a Mark 7, it was a
Okay.
25th. It was the last model year, 2017,
2015. If it was
2015.
2015, that's the first generation of the Mark 7 platform.
It was. I just knew it was like a later Mark 7.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forgot what it
So
was.
yeah. So 2017 would have been the last Mark 7 generation before they did the facelift.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a white manual, and it was the most expensive of the three. Had the least amount of miles, and the only reason I didn't buy it is because, and someone's gonna flame me in the comments for this, but I didn't get it because it wasn't a DSG.
Oh my god.
Dude, like I said, I love the intricate like stuff, like I know N54s have all their problems, but it is a really cool motor and what they were able to get out of it. The S4 is really cool because it has basically a baby PDK and it's got the same like style triple differential that WRXs and STIs have. It's just electronic, I think. And I don't know. I my buddy wanted to buy a fast car, and my first option for him was a GTI. Being a BMW guy, like
Yeah.
I'm kind of just a German car fan, except for Mercedes. I can't stand Mercedes.
Really,
I
I
can't
love
stand.
Mercedes.
It's just too big. It's just too soft. It's just not.
Yeah, they
It's
do
not.
like their big bodies.
It's just not German enough for me. Like it's
Yeah,
too. There's too much show and not enough functionality. But
yeah,
I think Volkswagen and Audi have the perfect mix, whereas BMW is more performance oriented.
right.
And I think that's another thing too. A lot of people will put Volkswagen under Audi. For me, I know that they're literally the same thing.
Yeah. Well, Audi does make better motors. Like it is Volkswagen, but Audi does. They're more of like performance. If
Yeah,
you want more performance, it's you got to go with Audi because Volkswagen doesn't do
they don't.
anything above a VR6.
Yeah, but I do think like if they wanted to, like maybe throw an S4 engine and drivetrain into a Jetta, it would be kind of sick.
Yeah, an all-wheel drive Jetta, which is what were gonna do, but they pulled the plug on it last minute. Um, but yeah, I would have loved to seen an all-wheel drive Jetta.
And they're light. Like I I don't know. This isn't not like common knowledge, but a 330 like an E90 335i weighs 3,800 pounds. It's it's like a normal size sedan, like a mid-size sedan, but it's pretty freaking heavy. And
Yeah.
I think a Jetta GLI is like 500 pounds lighter,
The
right,
GLIs, I
Dalton?
think, right around 33, 3,400.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
And so, for what they lack in power, they definitely make up in weight. And I think they're cool. I think they look good. I think they look great slammed. God damn it, Dalton. But yeah,
I
I
here's something that like I don't like about the Mark 6 platform is they did a really good job designing the front. Like it looks aggressive. Like looking at Nick's, like yeah, it's a different bumper, but it just looks aggressive. Like I like that aggressive look. But they really got lazy with the rear of the car. Like it just doesn't do it for me. It just does not look very aggressive. It's just like they kind of gave up. Like you get to about the middle of the car and it gets too bubbly. Like it's too big in the back. Like the front is super sleek. Like it's not too big, but it's not too small. Like it's like a nice balance. And then you get to the half of the car towards the back, it just gets really big.
it
I
does.
think a Mark 7.5 rear bumper, like, and whole like rear actually would have been a much better fit for the Mark 6s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
Just to match the headlights and taillights.
I would definitely want a Mark 7 instead of a Mark 6. And
I can
I
give you some tips on that.
and I think the Mark 6 is literally, when you look at it compared to a Mark 5, not a lot of people like a Mark 5. It it's in line with the Mark 5. It doesn't stray too far away from a Mark 5, and I think that's what they were going for. But the Mark 7 and especially the new Mark 8, I think are just very, very refined, and they're more Audi than Volkswagen.
You're talking about the Golf R's or like the GTIs?
Yeah, the new Golf R's and GTIs.
Oh, okay. I was
They
gonna say because the
look.
new Jettas look like absolute dog shit.
No, yeah, yeah, but
Those are
but
bad.
but like the Mark 8 GTI looks like a RS3 hatchback,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like if you took an RS3 and turned it to hatchback, it's the new Mark 8.
Yeah, I mean it technically would be a RS3, but it's like a very dumbed down, like watered down version of an RS3.
Yeah, and if I didn't spend a lot of time looking at this picture of his front wheel, I would think this is an S4 or an A4.
Yeah.
Like like the newer Volkswagens definitely have a lot of Audi heritage in them, and I think it looks good. Volkswagen peers will tell me I'm stupid, but hey, either way, I give Nick's card a 9 out of 10. I would
Yeah.
love to see this in person, and I would love to see him get down in it because I want to know if it schmobs. It probably
Y-
does, but I just want to see
y-
that thing schmob.
Yeah. It sounds pretty good too, because he doesn't have like a cheap exhaust. It's not straight piped. Like it's a nice, expensive exhaust.
Speaking of expensive, dude, how expensive are those wheels? 19-inch HREs?
Yeah, so they don't make those anymore. That was what was kind of cool about his build is you can't find those wheels, the HRE 549s or something like that. Yeah, you can't find them, and he got them just like that. All he did was polish them and cleaned them up a little bit, like they were perfect. Other than that, and I think he got a a really good deal for him too. That's another thing. Like HREs are not cheap.
Going back to the wheel topic since we're on it, since we talked about it, dude, HREs are miles ahead of BBS
Yeah, I agree.
in like modern terms. Cause yeah, but anyways, 9 out of 10 car. I'll let Casey talk about it since he is more of a Volkswagen guy than I am, and I want to hear what he has to say.
Well, shit. I'm just gonna start off like this. I never knew that the Mark 6R bumpers would fit on a Mark 7 GLA, but I mean, it works surprisingly. I don't think I'm not too close to my phone, so I don't see a bumper gap really. Um, yeah, pretty clean front. I like how I matched the grill to the to kind of like those fog light bezels, like that lined grill. Like that was pretty sleek. Yeah, the wheels are. Very surprised that he even got a hold of those because those are, yeah, like Dalton said, are discontinued. You can't get them anymore. The only thing I can only pick apart about this car is the rear brakes. They're not color matched with the rest of the car. I mean, that's kind of petty for even the mod list for this thing. Uh, I don't know what to even pick apart about this. It's clean. I like how he's tucking the rear with what looks to be a little bit of camper on there. I like it clean. 10 out of 10. He did a good job. There's a lot of money invested in it. He didn't go cheap. He didn't go wasteland bags with manual management.
Thank God they're not fucking niche wheels.
Yeah,
Oh God,
Too many
I tear him
Jettas
apart
out
for
there.
that.
There's too many Jettas out there with niche wheels, man.
yeah, for sure. I give it I give Nick's I got a 9.5. Uh I think it's a really well done Jetta, and this is the guy that I was talking about where I was like he is arguably probably lower than me, and I don't know if like I'm curious to see who is lower. But he's definitely a very low Jetta.
Bag Miata. Only
I
thing that's longer than Jordan.
I'm gonna since you brought that up, I'm gonna say it.
Oh no.
I think you're
Oh
lower.
God.
And here's my reasoning. One, he has a lip. Dalton, when you air out, your bumper's on the ground. And two, he is tucking 19s, which are a bigger wheel.
Yeah.
So there is more wheel, in that fender. And you
Yeah.
just tuck on your 18s.
Yeah.
But it's close. And I mean, both cars look great. But I think you may because of the lip makes me think that you're lower by like however much thick that lip is.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's a pretty
Dalton is
thick lip.
lower. Dalton's tucking more 18 than he is 19.
I mean, if we can see both cars, I want to see both cars side by side. I want to see
Yeah.
him, but I want to see him without the lip.
Yeah. Because right now I don't even have a lip, so it would be I would be curious to see if he didn't have the lip, who actually sits lower, like both the front ends together, and then just do like a side profile of it together and see and compare which one would be lower.
I also think that picture would
I'm
go
a money on
fucking
Dalton
hard.
all day.
Dude, that would be a fucking sick like what is it? Album cover?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got 35s and he's tucking 19s. I have 18s and I have 40s. So I think
You guys are
I
about
do
the same,
we're
yes.
about the same, yeah. But he doesn't really like he's more going for like low, but not tucking super hard to where you're getting rid of like the lip and like the actual wheel itself, like because that's what kind of draws your attention is like you see the whole face of the wheel and you're like, oh damn, those look good. Whereas mine, like it tucks more and like they're also Atlas wheels, so I can't really say much. He has like real wheels, but yeah, I mean he was going for more of a show stance instead of just looking as low as possible.
I can see that for sure. There is okay. Well, looking at this picture, I was gonna give him a bump up his score when Dalton was talking about it's like a 9.5, but we just because we touched on this earlier in the episode is his rear spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
And I know Dalton, you gave me props for not having that spoiler on my car with the
Yeah.
notch in the middle.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is Nick, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. I love the car, but that spoiler, man, it's killing it for me.
Yeah. What it- the 0.5 for me is go down to the front shot of his car. So that right there, look at the grill. Like look at the top grill piece. It I just never really cared for it. It just like I know it's carbon fiber and all that stuff, but I just never really cared for the badgeless grill. And it's also not like there's no filler for the notches for the emblem, so you just see
It's
the
just
notches
space.
still.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to point out.
Yeah. But
Like,
other
dude,
than
I've
that,
never seen those headlights ever on a
those
Mark
headlights are
6.
fucking sick.
yeah. And that's another thing. Is like I've never seen a Mark 6 have those headlights before. So it's definitely different. And I
Ooh,
like the headlights.
that one phrase sums up his build so well. I've never seen this done on another car. I think there's so many parts on his car that are just or that are really really unique.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
I
and
think
another thing is, I love that he did what it sounds to be. He did a Mark 7 seat swap with those little under trays. Because only I remember my GTI only came with those little under trays. I think you'd see them on that interior shot a little bit.
Dalton,
But
can you try and get me a full interior picture from him?
Yeah.
Not just the wheel, but like I want to see the seats because I know these things have like really cool seats too.
Yeah.
I
I
actually
also love
didn't
the Mark
even
7 steering wheel too. That's cool.
God, this makes me want to put my steering wheel in so bad, but I'm so scared of effing up the wires. But man, I'm such a sucker for carbon. Just throw carbon, like real carbon on something and I'd love it.
Yeah. And it's not overkill. Like it's not like eyesore carbon fiber everywhere. Like it's just nice subtle touches of carbon here and there.
Yeah, like all his trim pieces are carbon, all
Yep.
the framing on his center console is carbon.
Yep.
The wheel has tons of carbon.
Yeah. And the fact that he has Alcantara, like on the door cards and on the armrest and on the back, like behind the headrest, behind the seats, that's all Alcantara too. I thought that gave it a nice, like, subtle touch to it, or it's not like overkill.
And I think it's just complete, right? Like the
Yeah.
detail in one part of the car is reflected in another part of the car.
Right.
And like everything that he does is tied together. Like the stitching on his wheel matches the stitching on his shift boot. The carbon weave on his dash matches the carbon weave on his wheel. Like everything is just so thought out. And I'm pretty sure, like I can't see it, but the weave of the lip matches the interior, and I bet you the spoiler matches the weave of the lip and the interior also. And it's
Yeah,
like those
probably.
little details, including like how his engine bay only has 2 brands in it. It's just so nice. Like it's just everything is just tied together so well.
Yeah. It's a that's what I would like. That's an enthusiast built car. Like he didn't cut corners. There was nothing that was cheaped out on. Like everything is just very well
There's
put
a ton.
together. It's
There,
not too modified. It's not over the top. The exhaust isn't like sounds like shit. Like it's all very well done.
Yeah.
Tastefully modded.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can tell he put thought in everything that he did with this car.
Yeah. And
And
the going back to our last podcast where we talked about like take your time and like don't half-ass it, save, and like this is all he's done is like saved for all these things. Like he's never cut corners and he's had the car for a while. Like I think he's had it longer than I've had my Jetta. And so the fact that he's built it over the years and maintained it to keep it pristine like that, like that's I have a lot of respect for guys that do stuff like that.
the other thing too is like I love retrofit pieces from
Yeah.
a newer model and or even like an older model because there are some things that some you know will do better. And man, I love this God, I love this steering wheel.
Yeah.
I know like a lot of RS3s have this like they have the same wheel, Dalton?
What?
Like the RS3 and the Mark 7? Is it the same
I think
style
it's
wheel?
similar. I think it's similar, but they're different. But yeah, that is definitely an RS3 design style.
Like I love because you don't realize this. I have a really boring steering wheel in my car right now. But when you drive a car, the steering wheel is literally the thing that holds you to the car.
Yeah.
And if you hate it, man, you're gonna hate driving your car.
Right, because what are you looking at the entire time while you're driving? You see your steering wheel in your peripheral, like that's what you see the entire time.
And it's like, what are you touching? It's the wheel.
Right.
And I think a lot of built cars or like show build cars, that's the one thing that they overlook is the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even talking about like like carbon overlays and stuff on your steering wheel. I mean like truly upgrading that steering wheel to be something that matches the rest of your car.
Right.
Because you see that a lot too with like God, freaking BMW owners putting carbon pieces on their OEM wheel drives me crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, another hidden thing that he didn't put in the description, his headlight housing on the inside is carbon fiber. So
Oh,
the whole inside of the headlight housing is all carbon fiber. And I didn't notice that until I went to the Sophisticated Euros meet with him and I was looking at his car and I was like, "Holy shit, that's carbon fiber on the inside of your headlights." Like that was crazy to see. And like he never shows it, like he never does like up close shots of it or anything like that, but it's carbon fiber on the inside.
Did he build the headlights himself or did he
I
get them built?
don't know if he built them himself or if he had someone do it, but they are customized. So like the lenses have been split open and customized to how he wanted it.
Because
I'd be salty.
I wanted to bring up like what you said about saving and like building the car. Headlight housings are crazy expensive.
Yeah.
And yeah, and man, that's the more you talk about this build, the more that I want something like this for my BMW, and
Yeah.
I think that's why we're doing these features, is like for the people that are watching this that are trying to build a quick car, man, like just take your time, like we said in the last episode, because to build something like this, like Nick has, is it's something truly special, and it's something that is very well thought out.
Right, right. Yeah, like in our whole group, like we pretty much do the same thing. Like with Jacob's big single turbo, like he didn't cheap out. He went with like all expensive, like reliable name brand stuff. And I went with all reliable name brand stuff for all the stuff that I've done. And with like Dilly and Casey and you and Ivan, like Casey just got his car recently, but he's already wanting to like put it on bags. And so he's been like bouncing off like um, companies that make bags and stuff like that, asking me like if it's a reliable bag, if it's good quality, if you should get used or new. And so I always say like just save your money, like it'll be worth it in the end. You're gonna really like you're gonna appreciate it. and it's going to look how you actually want it. Like there's nothing worse than modifying your car and half-assing it, and then it just look exactly how you don't want it to look. And that's like my biggest thing is like just save it and put all the money into it, and like just buy all good quality stuff, and then you'll really appreciate your car.
I can vouch for that 100%.
Yeah.
Be like
My
Nick.
GTI was a shitbox, and I've learned from just buying shitty parts. The only non-shitty parts that were on that thing was the cob access port,
Hmm.
and the aero downpipe was actually pretty good. I just got rid of it because I sold it to Sam for a Canada downpipe. I was just tired of the fumes, and I was like, okay, maybe I could flip this Canada downpipe, and I ended up not. So I think I went through like 4 intake setups before I called it quits.
Yeah. And that was also like what it was only your second car.
Yeah, it was just a
So
big learning step for me.
yeah, and that's exactly like you never had like anything seriously wrong happen, like completely like engine failure or like anything like super major happen. It was more of just like a learning curve, and like you're only working with a so much of a budget. So like I totally understand that. But like you saved up and you got the WRX. That's a good first step. Like it's a pretty freaking new car. So you've got a really good platform to build off of. Like I know
Mhm.
everyone hates on Subarus and stuff, but I think Subarus are actually a really good platform to build off of. Like if you want to like stance it, there's plenty of things like good quality stuff that you can do to stance it. If you want to make it go fast, like yeah, it's really expensive to do that. But there is like good name brand stuff that like makes reliable stuff to make your car go fast for that platform. And I like that the Subaru is just a very like diverse community, and there's so much aftermarket stuff for the Subaru platform.
Yeah, and also it's a really good thing. Oh Jesus. It's also a really good thing to learn how to take care of, because
Right.
it's a great thing to say, oh yeah, I did my oil change like 2,500 miles, and it's a good thing to make a habit of. And if you're doing it every 10,000, your motor's gonna go.
Yeah.
Sad to say, but your motor's gonna go.
Yeah. When dealerships are like, yep, you can just do it once every 10,000 miles, like there's a reason why they're telling you that. It's to keep them in business. So you keep coming back with broken car.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean that's a huge thing that like I am big on is always do your maintenance on time. Always keep up on maintenance, like always.
We're looking at you, high mileage N54 owners.
and STI and WRX owners, FN and EJ owners there.
Yeah, and the
Ba-
2.5s for the Jettas and any other Volkswagen that has 250,000 miles and you haven't done an oil change in 40,000 miles. Like,
I
Jesus
forgot those monstrosities existed.
God.
I think okay, we've gone on this sidetrack for pretty long here. I think all in all, be like Nick. Don't be like Casey and I in our
Casey,
last cars. Um,
yeah,
do your motherfucking maintenance and build your car right, and just take your time.
Yep, and
and
enjoy
don't
it.
rip on your damn car.
We're gonna be
Don't
talking
rip on
about
your damn car so much. You'll
yep,
regret it.
yeah,
Yep. And
yeah.
enjoy it. There's always enjoy it, even if it's just a simple maintenance thing. Like, just enjoy it. Like, that's what the whole part of like why we're into cars is because we enjoy just doing the simplest things on our cars. Like, doesn't even have to be big.
Absolutely. Just take time in what you're doing,
Right.
like what Dalton always does. Take time in what you're doing, because if you don't take your time in what you're doing, you're going to do it 2, 3, 4 times until you get it right, and
Right.
you're going to be in that 2, 3, 4 times what you spent.
Right.
All right,
So
and I think with that, we'll end this episode here. This one was also another long one, but I feel like we don't run over a lot. Uh, had a really cool featured car. We're gonna
Yep.
have a pretty cool one for the next one too. Um, it's gonna say it's gonna be another Volkswagen,
Yep.
and
uh,
I think it's cool because it's like kind of the opposite of this. But well,
Yeah. We're gonna go a little bit older.
yeah, we're gonna call it here, and my inner YouTuber's coming out. Like, subscribe, share the video.
Yeah.
Help us with the YouTube algorithm. Everyone that watched the first episode, we're recording this. What is it? 3 days after that first episode went live. Anyone
Yeah.
that's seen it, we appreciate you. We don't know who you are. We know who some of you are, but we appreciate you guys liking and commenting, doing anything, all that stuff. At this point, it's at 100 views, which is actually kind of crazy in 3 days for being our first video.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
appreciate every single one of you guys. Casey, we appreciate you coming on.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
We'll probably have you on in the future also. But yeah,
Sounds great.
we will catch you guys in the next one.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Later,
Guys,
guys.
better like and subscribe.